Welcome. Here we go, guys. We back at it again. We are on a late night tonight, man. Tonight we have our famous Tani Graves. Yes, she is famous.
Wow.
Yes, we back at it again, guys. And we got a lot of views last time. We got a lot of comments, and I really appreciate everybody commenting in. But tonight we got something real special for you guys. It's gonna be real interesting. How does your faith play a part in your life, and does your faith have a lot to do what's going on in your life, or has it, had a great impact in your life? So that's the topic for tonight. So we're gonna dive right into that, and I'm gonna, like I always, let my guests start out first, and then I'll just chime in, and then we'll just talk until we can't talk no more. All right, take it away,
Oh,
Tani.
okay. So I like to hear about faith, because faith is something that I think each and every one of us has in us. And it depends on how big and small it is in our lives. So, we go to church to, hear a message that can give us more faith in what we're supposed to be doing in our daily walk. And that's basically it. Our daily walk needs faith. We need to have faith in something, in a betterment for our life. Faith that we're not doing something wrong or going to suffer a consequence because, we make mistakes. So the faith has to be in something that will be beneficial to us. And each and every one of us have it, but there is a measure of faith that is very like, when we say small as a mustard seed, it has to be very vast as a mustard seed when it grows. It has to grow in a humongous way that your life has, you see things. You see the power of what faith can do with your mind and your spirit, God within you saying, this is what I want. And we're going to walk together and we're going to, make this happen. Faith is a beautiful thing, but faith can also fail us because faith sometimes does not give you the outcome that you're looking for. A lot of times people do not get what they want. And we have to look back and say, why? What happened? We're questioning ourselves, wondering if there was something we did wrong about, the whole situation. And honestly, I think that's the time when the reflection is beautiful and we're learning about ourselves. As long as we're not really angry, we have to be in a mental, feeling of wonder, of care for ourselves and not be angry to hurt ourselves with the thoughts of negativity. So but the point is that you question it when you're not given what you want. And so faith is beautiful, but there's also the other side of it. The other side of faith can be that you don't get what you want. And I'm not going to sit up here and act like I know the Bible like that because it's been a long time since I've read the Bible. I'm one of those type of Christians. I know. But the point is that there's stories in the Bible about people not getting what they want. You know what I'm saying? And they've had to kind of step away. But faith is still beautiful at the same time. So that means that if you are having faith in something, maybe it's not meant for you, right? You know what I'm saying?
So I heard you say things don't go your way. So according to your faith, what I'm saying, there are certain things and certain events that has to happen so you can grow. What I'm saying, we have to go through things so we can grow. You can't have a good day every day, because everything is good, and when times get rough, you don't have, you know the ability to go through that storm, because now you're like, every day is good, is everything is fine. So now, you guess what, you won't grow, you'll stay in the same place. Yeah, you'll be in a good place, but you won't elevate your mind, you won't elevate your body, to go to a higher place. You may be
Right,
called to go to a higher place. And
right.
so, with that being said, you know when you talk about faith failing, I think, are you saying that man fails? Because you still have to have a leader, or someone that has to walk you through your faith. You know what I'm saying? So How can you where do you get your encouragement? Where do you get your uplifting from? So you gotta, sometimes man can be fickle. Sometimes man can, tell you to do one thing and then he does another. I say man because I'm not talking about actual man, I'm talking about human. So when I say man, I'm talking about human, and you got to look at those things like that. So I feel like when you say no, I don't know, I'm asking you, is that what you're saying? When faith fails, you talking about man?
When faith fails, meaning when you really believe that you want something and you have faith that it's going to come what you want and it doesn't come. Like that's the failing of faith. If your faith is so strong, then it obviously was meant for you to be, and it was meant for you to have. But faith sometimes does not give you what you want because it's not meant for you. You get
Of
what I'm
of
saying?
of
That's what I
course.
mean when I say, yeah, that's what I mean when I say faith fails, because there are people out there hoping and believing that they're going to win a whole lot of money, hoping and believing that they're going to be able to do certain things that they are not able to do because of why? Because they need to learn. There's something within them that they need to learn or grow or mature in a way where they can become what they want to be. Because we are always walking in this life and becoming what we want. It doesn't happen just like that. So it takes time. And sometimes you don't get what you want. There are people that have lost their children and they had faith, you know, and then they lost their child. It's devastating. I cannot imagine it, but I can in a way because I look at it like I know what faith can do. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen faith fail for me. You know, I've thought I had faith. But there's something that you need to learn when you are going through that time when you don't get what you want. Because there is a time when you need to reflect onto yourself, among yourself, within yourself. There's no other person you need because God is inside of you. You are walking in that church every day. That is where you need to have that conversation on the inside and say, this inside me, God walking among me right here in my heart, talk to me and say it quietly, only to yourself, every single time you do everything. And when you do that and you ask questions of why, the answers come to you. And then you learn about yourself and then you can grow because you need to growing. And growing doesn't mean that you listen to every damn body. Sorry. You can't listen to everybody. It's something that is internal that only God knows because you are walking in this body with God. You are among this world. We live around people, but nobody loves themselves. Nobody knows how to be. We are never really loving one another. I'm always having to defend myself. And I hate that. Like I wanna be like a kid. Kids are free. They're innocent. But we don't have that because we're adults. We have so many things that happen in our lives and we lose true faith. And true faith means that you are knowing who you are walking in it, and you are claiming it as if it was yours and knowing it's going to be given to you. That is faith. And that is love also because that's God walking in front of you, inside you. You have to have your interpretation of the Bible in the right manner. And, the Bible is beautiful. We all use it. I hear so much about the Bible and I'm like, I'm just sad sometimes because the interpretation is very like fickle. It's just crazy. I don't even want to go in that. But the point is, faith is beautiful, but it can also be something we need to look at ourselves and say, what is it about me that I need to do? And
Now,
I've done that. I say this because I've done that. I'm doing it every day.
okay. Now you said want, right? You said sometimes faith doesn't give you what you want. That's a desire. So sometimes our desires are not required.
Okay.
All
So
right.
what other way could you say faith is though? Well, how would you interpret what faith is? So
Well,
I understand.
okay. Faith
It's
is
not a
something.
desire, is what I'm saying. Are you saying it's not a
No,
desire?
no. When I say when you use the word want, it's a desire,
Okay.
right? It's a desire. So sometimes our wants is not something that we are required. God doesn't require us to have. It's a want. It's a desire.
Right.
So sometimes, like you said, money. That's something that we all want. It's a desire, and we all need it. So it's not something that God says you're required to that. You understand what I'm saying? You got me?
Right.
So
Yeah, yeah.
when you talk about faith failing, it all depends on the individual. You know what I'm saying? We want something that God say, no, that's not for you, but you can strive to get it. And like I said, what if it aligns up to what is for you? Yes, you'll get sometimes you'll get what you want if it aligns up to what you're supposed to have. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
like for instance, some people do strive to be, wealthy. You know what I'm saying? There are things you have to do to become wealthy. Now, if you don't
Right.
expect to become wealthy if you're not going to do the steps to become wealthy. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
could want that, you know what I'm saying? And but guess what? You say, "Oh God, I pray that you." No, God said, "No, you got to make the certain efforts to get to where you want." It's lining up to what God wants for you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Right.
that when you talk about believing in something is one thing, and you still have to do the things that are required of you to do. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
you can get the things that you want. You know what I'm saying? I told somebody before, it's like if your child is bad, we say some people say in this time, oh, they don't say they bad, they just challenged, right? Okay, you want to use the word challenge? Okay, let's go with challenge. They're challenged, right?
Hmm.
If they're not doing what they're supposed to do you give them the gifts that they supposed to have, or you say, I love you, so you want them Michael Jordan sneakers? I'm not gonna get them for you. I'll get you some other sneakers, but I'm not getting your Jones. You don't deserve that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still yep, and I'm using parenting is because
Right.
God is our father. So
Right.
when you use God in that sense, God's not going to give you what you want all the time. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Because you listen, there are things that we do that God says, no, I'm not going to do that. You know,
Right.
you woke, first of all, your grace and your mercy, you know what I'm saying? He woke you up this morning. You got all your limbs. So now it's up to you to use those limbs and use your body, the temple, your body, you know what I'm saying, accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Some people do stuff that we can't see. And we say why, like you mentioned about um losing a child. Listen, and I'm not, I got children too, so but there are things that you do in life that we can't see with the naked eye, but God can. And so those things, sometimes tragedy come on those people. And now I'm not saying this all the time. I said, so we sympathize with those type of things, but we do not know outside what those individuals are doing. And so
Right.
we say, oh man, we looking at it from a human perspective, a human eye. So we like, oh my goodness, that's a tragedy. But we really don't know what the real story is. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Right.
About the tragedy. The tragedy happens sometimes and we don't understand it because there's something about it that we can't see with the natural eye. So people that really believe in God and trust in God, we have to take it and look at it from a spiritual aspect. And when you look at it from a spiritual aspect, you can understand those type of things. And then you can see it. And then you got, and you really don't speak about it because you don't want to seem like you heartless. You don't want to seem like, you don't care, but you do care. Some people ask me all the time about these third world countries. I said, look, I give them a little piece of it. I can't give them the whole thing. I said, so listen, and you correct me if you feel like I'm wrong. I said, look, third world countries, it's not like in America. It's not like America. What happens is we still have to pay taxes. In third world countries, they got to do the same thing. They don't have the same currency as us, but they still have to pay the king. They still have to do those type of things. And so the people that don't have to give, now where are they living? How are they surviving? How are they providing for their families? They got to do whatever they need to survive. You know what I'm saying? They still,
Right.
so if they don't have a farm, they don't have anything, where that leaves them. They don't have the right resources to take care of their children. And then you got to look at this too. Are they having children the right way? You know what I'm saying? It's so, that's a mind that Like your mind got to be ready for that. And you got to understand that. So it's so many things that you can put into the story and say, why these things are happening. You know what I'm saying? Something just happening with, I really don't do all the extra stuff, with the shooting. I really don't get into all that because guess what? That, yes, it's not a part of my world right now. It is, but it's not. You know what I mean? And I try to be in the right place at the right time. And then sometimes tragedy happen, like I said. So I try to live accordingly to what God has me to do. Sitting here on a podcast, doing those type of things, talking about these type of topics. You know what I'm saying? And I pray, all the time. And pray that that God cover me. You know what I'm saying? So, that's big. I feel like when I do these topics, I think about them, I pray about them because sometimes people need to know that faith can have a big impact on your life. Because it keeps you with a sane mind, it keeps you with a clear mind, it keep you with a conscious mind. You know what I'm saying? Even when somebody is doing you wrong, it keep you saying, you know what, I'm not even gonna handle that like that. Because then when you focus on God, you know what I'm saying, like people doing you wrong, you turn the other cheek. Listen, you warn them. I tell people all the time. I said, listen, you can say whatever you want to me. Everybody's not like that. You can say
Right.
whatever you want. Please don't put your hands on me.
Right.
Now, because my God gonna give me the strength. I don't know what happened. I don't know what's gonna happen. So I'm serious. I tell him, I said, just don't put your hands on me because I don't know what the
Right.
outcome may be. It ain't gonna be
Yeah.
happy for you because I warned you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Just don't do that. You can say whatever you want. You can say my mother hope she died and my kids. That don't bother me because guess what? That's truly demonic. So I don't really feed into that. You know what I'm saying? I don't really
Right.
feed into that. You know, you know. Then I want to touch on something that you said. You said about uh I missed it. I should wrote it down. But knowing, when you into environment, right? You got to know the people you dealing with. When I'm talking about faith, I'm still on faith. You got to know the people that you're dealing with and how to speak to them because some people can't receive the word faith. They think when they think about that, they think about religion. Faith is something you believe in, but
Mhm.
also you got to be able to encourage others. I got this person at my job, and they're Muslim, and I told him, I said he's sending me stuff. I, I I receive it. I'm not saying nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? I told him, I said, did you do your studies? I said, why did you become a Muslim? And then he asked me why I become a Christian. I said, yeah, my family, my mother, my father. But have I indulged in other faiths and beliefs? Yes, I have. And there are things about certain faith and religion that I come to find that it's not wise to indulge in. And I'm not gonna get into that, but it's not, what I'm saying? Because there is a lot of negativity. There's a lot of how can I say it? Unfairness, I could say. You know what I'm saying? To humanity. You know what I mean? One topic is that it's gonna be another topic, it's not today, but having multiple wives.
Hmm.
You know, some people
Yeah.
believe, go
Yeah.
ahead.
Having multiple wives, they have. And look, let me say this: everything has history. Okay, there's nothing new under the sun. Everything comes from something in the past that we've already dealt with, and we've changed it in a way, and our minds have changed it. If you think about the United States is like considered the powerhouse of the world, right? And looking at it, a lot of people hate United States or they love United States. And it's all about, if you were born in that place, you are the United States type of mentality. And it's either you are loved or hated on that. So everybody is like different. We're all so different in everybody's situation and how they live. I have a lot of friends that are, diverse in culture and nationality. And it's beautiful to listen to their story, but they are different than me and you, and how we grew up. And so I have learned to, look at it as we are humanity, yes, but humanity has been brutal to humanity. And it is a messed up mind. That's how we live. We lived in a messed up mind, mental state that we're hurting each other. But then again, I say, well, we eat meat too. So, because you got the vegans out there that tell you about it, how bad you are for eating meats, or vegetarians, whoever they are. I don't know. But the point is, that is true. That is very true, because we are used to killing and then taking for ourselves. So we have to go back to what life is truly about. And when you take it to the foundation of who we are as humans, you can look at yourself and just be like, we need to grow up and hope for it. you know, it, they say Jesus coming back, right? We always hear that. So the Jesus coming back is a better way of living, I would think, that heaven on earth type of thing, where it's just so much different. Our minds are like healed. And so, yeah, but going back to faith, just like that, I have faith in that. And then there are people that have faith in killing other people. So faith is like, we live in a world of polarity. We live in a yin yang. You don't want to hear these terms when it's, negative, positive, true and false. Everything has another side to it, light and dark. That is how we live. So we have to look at everything and say, this is where we are. And can light come upon us and shine so bright that only truth stays? That's our hope and faith. And as a collective, it should be, but we don't think like that. We were never taught to be thought, in a thought process like that. We were never taught when we were growing up how to be. And you have to go through the experiences in life and listen and hear and, either move in the direction that you want to go, or listen to that inside person inside you tell you, because he's always talking, right? She's always talking, whatever you want to call it, is real. you know it's not about he she thing anymore. So much is changing in life because we are learning more about different cultures, and that is my point. We are learning the truth about where everybody in the mind is, because we have never had this happen in life, where we're doing this, we're having a conversation and you're over there and I'm over here. We can do it all the time. That happened with the pandemic, and that changed us. So our minds are starting to like blossom into something totally different. And I think I'm looking forward to it, but faith for me, and I'm gonna tell you, for me, faith is like, I've always believed it's gonna be better. better, better, better. I just have to. If I'm gonna sit up here and not, I don't really think that's living. But I came in this world with the energy of like a child. People that know me, they know I'm silly, and I can't talk. I mess up words, I butcher words, but I know spirit lives in me too, and I let spirit flow. And that spirit is beautiful. And it's not me, because my silliness and, and my reactions, because I'm like a child, like seriously. like, and I love it, but it's a beautiful thing to have, but you have to put it in its place. That's when you have to know you have to become something else and let the inner part of you shine more. And that is a daily walk, but faith is what I believe that it will be for me, to be the way I envision my life. Just like I say of faith, faith is all about how you want to live. And people are making choices of how they want to live. Some people want to have fun, because I had fun. There was fun time and I wasn't thinking about nothing else but fun. I loved it, and that's all. And it's okay, because guess what? Everybody is due for something. And some people go through suffering. And why? Because they were in a life that they had to live that way. And we have to accept that about people. That's something that's hard for us. Like, you were talking about the people in other countries and how they live, third world countries, how they live totally different than us. Yeah, they have to live that way because that's their life. Don't make yourself feel bad as if you have to do something. I know you can't do anything about it because it's hard to see it and hear about it. It's our humanity. But all you can do is hope for better, or have faith that it will be there. It's a slow
So,
process.
okay, let me ask you something then. So, let's say a person told you, they said, God failed them, so they don't have, they believe there's a God, right? But they say to you, they say, you know what? I really don't talk to God. He failed me. How would you encourage that person? Well,
Um,
first you have to be spirit led, of course, but you deal with this person more like so let's say they was a coworker. They work with you, and
mhm,
and you always talk with that person, and they told you, they said, look, God, man, I'm like basically saying I'm mad with God. How would
right.
you encourage that person?
He or she spoke it out their mouth. They mad. And I'll be like, why you angry? That's not gonna get you nowhere. Because anger does not do anything for you. Holding on to anger inside you for whatever reason only manifests more anger. It blocks any real life-giving, living water truth that heals and encourages, and it brings forth what you really want in life. If you're angered, it's just going to sit there and manifest into more anger or into other forms of hate, I'm going to say. But really, the truth of what all this hate, anger talk is fear. I've learned, like, through the years of me growing up, fear is the main reason why we block ourselves, from saying God, or saying that God didn't provide, or I'm mad at God. There's a fear of something that you haven't worked out within your own self, and when I think of like people that talk like that, I know immediately they're hurt.
Mhm.
Something happened, and hurt does it to you. And everybody doesn't want to be hurt. Everybody wants to be loved. Nobody wants to be hurt. But yeah, we don't even know how to love each other. You know, it's very sad. But and the thing is, if we're able to have more compassion for each other, we could heal one another. We can make that anger really just end in the fire. The fire would just be gone. It would be so beautiful. Everybody talks about the hippie way of life, and how kumbaya type of stuff, but there's beauty in it. When everybody gets along and you have fun, when you enjoy life, and you're not really dreading and hating and suffering. Like, it's disgusting how we live. And every day it's a struggle because it feels it in the body. Our bodies go through it. And what we've dealt with that pandemic, and it showed itself. The bodies are going through it. And it's so bad that, if we don't change, it's gonna it's gonna change us completely, you know, in some way, somehow. So yeah, yeah, I think that everybody is hurt in the way where if they're not really accepting God or saying that they're angry with God, there's a hurt there always. And you always want to talk to somebody, and but for real, if I ever, I like to listen to people. You and I having this conversation is the first time I've been able to really communicate. And so I listen. And when I do say things, I only say it because it was supposed to be said. It's not me. It's kind of like that's like I said, it's a spirit. And it's beautiful, and I allow it to, and I because it's loving, and I want it to be loving. Now, don't get me wrong, I ain't perfect, but I know my intention in my heart is I came in this world wanting to be kumbaya and hold hands, and we all go into a circle and sing and dance. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yeah, we having fun. I like that. Life is great when it's that way.
So all right now. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Now listen. That's Look, what I've learned over the years is that when you have that type of mentality, that characteristic, you got to be willing to know that sometimes people are going to hurt you, but you got to knock it off your shoulder, keep it moving, because guess what, you still going to keep being you. And it's like, if nobody want to be a part of that joy, that happiness, you say, oh well, this what I do. I said, oh well, that's your loss, not mine. Because
Yeah.
trust me, I ain't letting nobody steal my joy. So if
Yeah.
you don't want to be a part of it, and you should be the same way, if they don't want to be a part of your happiness, see you later, peace.
Yeah. Yeah.
But don't be afraid to be that person in front of nobody. You
You're right.
gotta, when you walk into the room, they can say, oh, here comes to Tanique Graves. Y'all better get ready. Cause I know when I come, they say, oh, here come Dennis. You daggone Skippy. Here I come. I'm not coming here with no sad face. I'm not coming here with no frown on my face. And they
That's
say,
right.
every day gonna be happy, Dennis. I say, listen, I try to make it happy every day. I'll try to make it me smile every day. Yeah, I don't want to hear all that. Misery don't live here.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, you gotta be the same. You gotta be listen. And
I do need to learn that because I am female. And female, we have a way.
what?
We have a way of just our emotions can really, do something to us. So I feel you on that. It would be great, but I do have bad days, and I'm not happy all the time. So yes, I feel you on, but yes, I know what you're saying. I agree. I want that. I would love to have that because it's beautiful.
All right, here. Look, this is what I look. And it took me. It's listen. I had to, go, and I'm very transparent on this stage and this platform. Like I said to anybody, I really don't care how they think about me because at the end of the day, I live to encourage. What I'm saying, uplift people, but mostly, the first person has to be happy is yourself. You got to
Right.
be happy first. You the
Yes,
number one. You know what I'm saying?
that's right.
God is using you as the vessel, so you got to make sure that your cup you are the vessel, it's got to be full. So you got to
Right.
be full of joy. And what you put in to your cup depends on what comes out. You
Right.
understand me? So for me, over the years, what it was for me is that, listening to gospel music, really getting in tune with, God, just listening, just let it flow. Do I listen to R&B sometimes? Yes, I do. But I don't listen to that often. Do I listen to
Right.
a little bit of rap sometimes? Yes, but that I don't listen to that often. What I listen to often because I wanted it to be food for my soul is gospel music. It just overflow and hopefully that you can do that. I mean, get you some songs and just listen to it and listen, driving home, cleaning and drinking your wine, whatever it is. Listen to gospel and let God speak to you. That's for anybody. And because He will. You
Yeah.
rejoicing, you happy, you in a happy place, and guess what? That'll over carry in wherever you go, even when you having your rough times.
Yeah.
Because what happens is you fill your temple up with nothing but love
Yes.
constantly. And guess what? It's gonna spew out. I was listening at Michael Todd before, and he had this analogy where he put ping pong balls in the cup, right?
Uh-huh.
With no water. Now, when he filled the cup up, the ping pong balls kept coming out. He
Mhm.
kept pouring the water. The ping pongs kept coming out, and that's the symbol that's the analogy that I'm using. Once you fill your cup up with purity, with love, with peace, it's going to overflow. It's going to come out. It's going to be spewing out everywhere. And they're gonna be like, "Oh my goodness, man, what's up with Tanae? She acted real funny today." And they don't know that they don't know you're having a rough day. But
Right.
like I said,
That's
you
right.
filling yourself up with so much happiness and joy. Somebody, you won't listen. That'll pass away. Like I said, you asked me earlier, do I always have good days? Most of the part, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Dude,
Good.
sometimes I struggle with some things. I ain't saying I'm perfect. I struggle with some things.
Yeah.
But I don't let that struggle hinder me. I don't let that pain hinder me. You know what I'm saying?
And
I lost some close people in my life. Close. You know what I'm saying? But I realized, and everybody can't be this way. Everybody can't understand this. What I realized is that death is a part of life. It's a part of life. It has to happen. So I understand that, and whatever the cost, or I mean not cost, whatever the case may be, I understand it. I receive it, and I say, look, that's out of my control. That's nothing but God. Some people can't understand that, and even if it happened, listen, I say this: I don't speak things that I don't give things life. When I speak it, so I don't talk about things that I don't want to come. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna say this: even if it happened to me, I would be upset. I would be devastated, but I still would not allow it to take my joy away. I still wouldn't allow it to consume me so much that my hurt and my pain will be spilled out on other people. And that's what I mean by just letting joy just overflow. And listen to gospel music is one thing that I have. and I listen to it all the time, and it's just filled me up, and I just can't walk around here with a sad face because you know I didn't get something. You know what I'm saying?
But
Yeah, go ahead.
but
Talk.
there are many of those out there in the world that are not mind like you,
Mm,
strong mind. You have a conviction is what I say. And those are the ones that need to come back. They need to hear, and it's hard to talk to them though, because I've noticed for people in my life, I've noticed that they look at me as if, oh, you think you know what you're talking about. Like, what you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about because they see me. They see this, they see body. They see something that they're not listening. And so, and then people put judgment on it. So words like, when we're talking about what we do for ourselves, okay, good, good. You for you and me and you, we doing good. Now them other ones out there that are lost, we need to hear them and help them. That's how I've not been able to, I am going to admit, but I'm not going to admit that I've not been able to become a voice to help people. I feel like it comes every now and then to me, but not like the way I would like to see it. The reason why is because I'm not I'm not saying anything that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? I'm saying something that's real, and it's wrong in a way where if your ears can't hear it because you don't want to listen, okay, but wrong in a way where it's like, you hearing it, you know what it is. So judge it. Take what I say and judge it, and if you don't like it, walk on. That's how life has to be. We have to dust our feet off and let ourselves move on. Bless them and walk on. You have to say what you say, and if it don't ring and don't stick, say bless them and walk on. I've learned
yeah.
that too.
Oh, you
But
got to keep
but
on
the truth
moving.
is, you got to keep on moving. But the truth is, I do want, to see people, live better. There's too much suffering in the world, and it's painful. Everybody thinks we're going through the last days, and it's so the suffering is just so prevalent because we see it on video, we see it everywhere, and it's like it's sad. But faith, still going back to faith, I still believe that the world is going to be a better place, some way, somehow. I would love to be here to see it, but I might not. You know,
Hmm.
I was thinking of Job, and I don't remember the whole story, but Job went through a lot, right? You know, and was his faith tested or something like that? I
Yeah.
do. When he came in my mind at the time we were talking, Job stuck out to me because those type of people, and there are Job type of people in the world that have gone through things that are nonstop suffering, devastation, pain, and they still move on and do things in life, do what they're supposed to. Now, it doesn't mean that they're always making the right choices, because choices of right and wrong. Now, let's just say this. We can say that right and wrong is humanity. When we want to die or kill, that's right or wrong. Like, I would look at that as, do we really want to go out there and kill somebody, or do we really want to live a life where we're not even fearing killing? Because if you're going out there killing somebody, then wouldn't you be fearful that somebody might kill you? Because it's possible that way. That's how I look at it. I'm thinking the way I think is like, the world that we really would love is to have us as a humanity love each other, and be as brothers and sisters in a way where we are all getting along. So that whole, like, I'm getting back, I'm glad it came back to me. Getting back about the multiple wives, right? That is
Hmm.
exactly at the point about where we do not really truly understand, everything. There's so much vastness of life that when we hear things like that, it blows our mind, right? But for
Hmm.
me, I'm like, that's no surprise because I love history. So I read a lot. I've done so much history reading, and I love, wanting to go to sightsee and, go to the places that I always read about. So anyway, point is, yeah, back in the day, that's what they did. And it was the life that it wasn't nothing. They had many wives, and women got along. And that was back in the day. We can read about it. We can bury it as much as you want, but that was then. So when I look at that, and I know that that's where we came from, and we were getting along with each other, I'm like, I grew up differently. And I have to take that into account as I have to compare the two, right? But I don't want
Mhm.
to really compare it. So I'm trying not to say anything. Like I do try to stay in the in between, because that's the other side, like that up and down. What do? You have to learn how to walk into the narrow path, which is the in between. It's like reading in between the lines to see where it is that you should be. Black and white is not always where you should be, because there is a way where you have to see both sides of the brain, the way it works or the way the world works. We created this world to be this way. So, those type of variety of living styles, lifestyles of, being in a way of life. I've heard it so much in growing up in the place I grew up in. It's like more of yeah, interesting. That's all you can say.
So you think it's okay to have more than one wife?
I don't I don't really feel I want to have an opinion. That's my point. The opinion does not want to be there. Like I don't want to be an opinionated person so much where I'm so religious about it. Religion is really a thing where we believe in one way or we don't believe in another way. And I'm trying to stay in between because I need to know that love is there. And so I have to accept all people and how they grew up and how they're raised and how their brain works. I have to, because that's the only way I can see the life I really want to live, and the people that I really want to see, because the people I really want to see know how to accept one another. Because guess what? The way they act like we gonna have aliens come out one day. I don't know. So what do I do with that?
Here's one for you. Listen. This is why I was explaining to somebody, but I could say it to you. You could understand it better, right? We are meant. This is my feeling, so I'm gonna express it. We're meant to have one wife, right? It's all about based on your faith. I'm gonna show you this. Why it all ties in to the same thing. Now, we as humans, we struggle with the flesh. So if we are meant to have multiple wives, then you know that no matter what, that's why stories in the Bible where, you know, lust, envy, murder was all in there. There are things that can cause you to react based on your flesh. You understand me? Your flesh
Right.
will convince you to do certain things that you should not do. And so when you carry in multiple wives, and listen, everything is going great for years, right?
Right.
Now all of a sudden, this is that. Let's just say you had two wives. Now all of a sudden, Mary is going through her own thing, and now she want all of John, right? Now,
Yeah.
guess what? Now here is where the confusion comes in. Here is where disaster comes in, because now you got to deal with two people, two different ways, because they not gonna be the same.
Right.
They're not going to be the same. They're going to be different. And when they're different, guess what? You got to be able to and one man handling two different people is going to be a disaster. You're going to just if you just said it, we're gonna have good days. And you're
Right.
gonna have bad days. And those bad days, like I said, what I say about flesh, because guess what? You don't know, I don't know, they don't know how it may turn out. But when you focus on one person, guess what? One person. This is how I feel about it. I'm not saying I'm right, but I'm expressing my views on it. And everybody gonna believe what they want. But when you dealing with, it's very difficult to deal with one person as is. Especially, and I ain't trying to be funny, especially a woman. She
Right.
a woman just like us, we are complicated. They are complicated when you got a complicated person, not saying a complicated in a bad way. A woman is different. Women are emotional. So you got to be able to deal with that emotion lovingly. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Unconditional. So you got to be able to deal with that. When you got to deal with stuff like that, you come on. It's difficult to deal with one. And I say difficult in a loving way, not difficult in a bad way. So how can you think about, even any man could think about having two and he got to deal with one? I don't care if he's rich. You still got to deal with those things. And guess what? And it's not gonna turn out in a good way. Like I said, because
I'm gonna start calling you chef. Okay, I'm gonna start calling you chef. So
that's
chef, look. Okay,
yes.
look. But you have to understand. I understand your point, but there are men that can deal with it. I've seen it, and they deal with it. And the women, they deal with each other. And that life is out there. It's out there. It is
Yeah.
so real, you know. And even like, there's men that have multiple babies, that's the same thing to me. Multiple babies by different women. That's what I mean. Like, that's like it's the same thing. And these women really want their children to know their siblings, and even though it's a different woman, like that life is out there.
It's,
And that's like what you're saying. I understand your point, but there are those that, and I'm saying even not in this country but other countries, that live like that. And it's
yeah.
all about the person. So, and especially when they grew up with that lifestyle, that's especially true.
Yeah, not no. Look, we looking at from. Remember, I said earlier, we always looking at it from a human perspective. But let's look at it now. Let's look at it. Let's take it a step back and look at it a spiritual aspect. And then you wonder why. We wonder why some of the kids come out the way they come out, because that's not what God has intended. Not all the cases, but there are cases where that's not what God intended, but you forced it because you wanted it. You wanted it like that. So you forced it. So God said, okay, I'm going to allow it. But now, guess what? You don't know what is going to the outcome of you forcing a relationship, you forcing a marriage. You don't know. And that these are the things that we don't understand and we don't see, because we so infatuated. Oh my goodness, she got a bad body in any country. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
You like, oh, she look good. I'm gonna marry her. Marry her.
Yeah.
Oh, you want?
Yeah.
Oh, you ain't got a man? Oh, I'll marry you too. You see what I'm saying? But not think about the consequence that comes with getting together with the wrong person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
I do.
look, you right. I'm not. That's what I said. This is how I feel about this. I'm speaking on it. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
yes, there's people who like to. They call swingers. They like that lifestyle. That's their
Yep.
lifestyle.
Yep.
But
Yep.
there is a consequence that comes with it. Same thing with a regular marriage. It's a consequence. It's a consequence that comes with it when you
Thank
get
you
with
for
the
pointing that out. That's
right.
a good way to point it out. Even like regular marriage. That's
Yeah,
right.
you want to choose the wrong woman. That's on you. That woman might not be for you.
Right.
She might like sleeping with multiple men. You want to say, "Oh, she look good. I'm marry her." You married her. Guess what? She around here sleeping with all different type of men. Come on, But you chose that. So now you get upset. Now
Right.
you
Right.
want to go and rant rages and say, "Oh, why is she doing this?" No, guess what? You didn't ask her. You decided, you just came up with a nice diamond ring. You got this nice house, nice car. And she said, okay, yeah. But she likes sleeping with other men. Come on, talk to me.
Well, maybe it's a look thing. They like the look.
That's
It's all
it.
about a look.
But
Yeah.
they don't care about look. That's why we talk about it tonight. How this is how faith affects your life, and it can listen. Your walk becomes differently. If you listen, if you Muslim, and I gotta respect that. If you Muslim, you Buddhism, I respect all that. But your faith walk, it it all depends on how you look at it. You know what I'm saying? That no matter what, there's good, there's bad. That's simple. It's good and bad. And
Right.
how I determine what's good, how do I determine what's bad? So let me ask you before I answer. I'm gonna ask you, how do you determine what's good and what's bad? Because some people say, "Oh, that I don't believe that's bad." So let me ask you, what do you describe as bad and good? Tell me what you
That
think
is a
about that.
very good question. Very, very good that I have to really listen to. So good. Yeah.
So while you listen,
It's
yeah.
because I need to hear what it is. It's more like I like the question, okay? Okay. And the question is very like because for me saying what's good might just like you says, it might not be good to somebody else, you know. So there's that fine line, you know, of what is good and what is bad. Because like you know, people there are people out in the world that say that once you leave this earth, there's no heaven and hell. You leave and you go to the same place. So when you hear stuff like that, what do you do with it? So you're always hearing things, what's good and bad? Why do I have to be the judge of it? So I very much don't like to communicate about it because I know that it's going to be something behind it if I say what I think is good and bad. But I will say that there is a knowing of what is good and bad within us. So we know what is good and bad. If it's something that is deceiving or hurtful or hindering or impactful in a negative way, basically, it is not good, you know. So we know, like it's we'll call it a morality type of thing, you know. That's a, you know, your morals. But that's another thing, morals, like, you know you're morally supposed to be a certain way, but that also can be looked at as what is good and bad because everybody has a different opinion about what should be done morally. So that's why it's really hard for me to answer that. You know, I don't know how to say what is good and bad. It is more like, you know, it's really difficult. I mean, what would you say?
Wow. Well, good. Everything that revolves around good is positive, uplifting, encouraging. Everything. Do you give me one? And anybody, make it drop it in a comment. And if you could show me where anything that's good that does not have a positive income, a positive outcome, show me. But the things that are not good, there's going to be negativity in it. Yeah, some people say, like, let's just say uh killing, right? Somebody do something wrong to your child, you go in and go and try to go to their offense, and you wind up killing them, right? At the defense of your child, right?
Right.
Think about the response. Your response requires an answer. So you got to look at that's not good. And no matter the circumstance may seem like it's good, but it's not, because guess what? No matter what, you still have to pay for your actions. So yes, you went and defended your child and you killed somebody. Guess what? Your actions still require a payment. Whether you go in prison or whether you get away and say, you know what, you get a lawyer and you get away with it. Guess what? You got to pay for that. So that's not positive. That's not good. I use murder because, or killing is because, guess what? At no cost, when you kill somebody, there is nothing good in that. I don't care, because you got to pay for that. So you may get away from it, but guess what? Listen what you did. You caused pain and suffering to somebody else. Yes, somebody caused it to you, but you caused it to somebody else. So that pain, look, that pain ain't good from pain. You don't get nothing good from pain.
But some people believe in the eye for an eye.
I said, yeah, I said that.
Okay, but
Yeah,
that's the thing. So they think that they're right and good for it,
but
doing what they did.
even
Killing, you kill my child, I'm going to kill you.
right now. Listen, but listen to what I said. I said yes, that's what they believe. But listen, in their beliefs, it caused pain to somebody else. That's what the difference between good and bad. You, good, you only going to give good. You ain't giving nothing bad, negative. You ain't giving it back. You giving something good. But when you say, all right, you did this to me, I'm going to go do it to you. Guess what? You get, yes, you revenge.
You doubling up.
That's it. You, hey, oh, you killed my brother? All right, I'm going to kill your brother. But see, now listen, you got, look at the pain that you didn't cause. Kids, wife, mother, father, if they all living, you didn't cause them pain now. Because of your revenge, you cause pain. That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? About good and bad. Saying, well, I believe that's a good cause. Yeah, it's a good cause for you, but guess what? Look what your cause that you say is good caused 7 other people pain. Yeah, you guess what? Had you responded differently, guess what? It's as easy as it may seem, right? You go through the thing, you go to court. Let's say they get prison time. Let's say they don't get prison time. I said that's a hard pill to swallow. But I promise you, it's hard for them to believe it. They got to pay. Even if they get away, they gotta pay. No matter that's part of our life. As a human being, you can get away with it a little bit. But guess what? That's why there are things that we can't see. Their children may pay for it. They may get away, but their children may have a lifetime of suffering. And now guess what? They don't even know why they in suffering. They don't know why they in pain. They don't know why they have this disease. Not saying these are always the case, but that's what we don't understand. It says that in the Bible, there's things that happen in this world that we will never understand to the end of time. It's a lot of things that's going on. We don't understand why it's happening. Right. We don't understand. You know what I'm saying? And that's and trust me, and I say this with an open heart, and I say this in love, is that when you talk about when somebody says, well, I don't believe in that, and that's what you believe in. All right, that's cool. But I will say it again. When you think about anything that's negative, anything that's not positive, guess what? There's going to be a negative outcome. It's not going to be good. Period. I don't care what it is. If anything, and you may say, I don't think that's negative. Like I said, there are people who feel like eye for an eye, 2 for 2. They believe that. Oh, revenge is, hey, you stole my car, now I'm gonna go and steal yours, or you rob me, I'm gonna rob you and your mother. Okay, guess what? It's still gonna have a bad outcome.
And that's the thing. You can say that, and you have your. I look at it as conviction. I cannot say that. The reason why is because I don't want to be a judge. I don't want to sit up here and say anything. And it's not to protect anything or anyone. It's more like not even to care about offense. That part of right and wrong, I've lived the right and wrong so long. And I know I'm still loved and forgiven, and I don't, worry about it. So how can I talk to people and forget that part of me? You know what I'm saying? My walk is different than anybody else's. So for me, it's totally different. I can't sit up here and say anything. It's hard for me. And I'm a little punk for it. Okay, I can take that. I've got no problem.
You're a punk for what? For what?
For being that way about me, like not being able to really say what is good and wrong, what is not, right and wrong, what is I just taking a stand on it. Like I cannot do what you just did. Like you have it where you feel this way, and I hear you, and I'm like a little bit on the side on it. I'm a little bit on the side, like. Okay, because we don't know. Now, let's say that your story of, they killed the child, when killed the child, right? They might not have anything happen in their life after that. There might not be no cost. The cost is, wait, let me say it like this. Let me fix that. Let me fix that. The cost is the death, of course, the death, of course. But what I'm saying is afterwards, the storm probably could have been gone after. But how do I know? That's what I'm saying. Like I don't want to say what it could be, and I don't want to put it on their life. I don't know anything about what's their life, because I know for me how I have been, and I've gone through, and I know what my life is. So for me, I'm able to say this in a way where I don't want to put it on nobody. I don't want to say anything, because everybody's right and wrong is totally different.
I,
That's why we live in the world we live in. Look at where we're at. Look at where we're at. That's my point. We live in a world where we're killing each other, where we're so angry with one another. Like, this is where we are in life, you know? And when we went through that pandemic, that was a perfect time for us to self reflect, have time to learn and love ourselves. We had to go through some time of that. And it was beautiful. I loved it. I enjoyed it. I know that a lot of people were really suffering on it because they don't know how to be. They were so used to being out doing things, going here and there, and being home was not the thing. It took a toll on a lot of people. Point is, yeah, you're different than me. And I love listening to you because you believe in what you believe, and it's beautiful. You know, it's a beautiful walk to have, in believing in what you want for your life and for your vision. And I accept it. That's a beautiful thing. Me expressing who it is when I answer questions, I'm a little bit different. That's all I'm saying. And that's why I say it makes me a little pumped, because I'm not you vicious, like, no. Come off like, you already know, you say it's going to be a consequence. That's what you say. And I agree that there will be a cost. We have to pay a cost for every action that we take. Everything you do, cause and effect, there's a cost to it. So I get it, but after that, that's the cost. You have your cost, you pay a price, you did something. But after that, I leave after that. I don't have nothing to say, so I don't know what it is. Like, what's everybody's cost is different. The walk of our lives are completely different. So I try not to I'm trying not to say too much, because I've been judgmental to a point where I've pushed so many people away and hurt them. And I've just learned that when I did that, that wasn't in my intention. I never felt like, my faith in who I am is so big, I guess, that I'll be too much and I'll say something stupid and it offends. And then I hurt because I offended. And so I've learned, for me, just to really, I don't have much to say, because everybody is freaking different. And everybody is so unique in a way where it's just like, it can be exhausting.
so so in other words, you're afraid to say something because you may offend somebody.
I got a mouth on me.
So
I can say some things. I can say things in a way where, I'm gonna
are
cuss you
you
out.
are but
I can
watch
cuss you
this.
out.
Are you saying it, or is the spirit in you saying it?
Say that again.
Are you saying it, or is it the spirit in you saying it?
It's always a spirit. Now, don't get me wrong. My ego comes, okay? The
So
ego
your
little
ego,
stuff.
there you go.
That,
Your
that but
ego
that
ain't that's you.
That's me. That's my little fleshy
Yeah.
way. But the
Uh,
point is, the spirit's always there. What it says to say, whatever it needs to say, is gonna be said. That's how I always say it. I don't know. I don't know nothing. Like, I don't know when it's gonna be said or how it's gonna be said. But I know my ego will burst out and say something. You know what I'm saying? And that burst out say something can be like, oh, here you go. You know what I'm saying? Like, why you come up? But that's real. That's how we are as human beings. Like, we have personalities, like, split personalities. And it's okay. It's okay. Accept who you are.
I, and listen, you right, but now
Right.
I'm very animated. I'm an animated person,
Hmm.
and so this is a stage for encouragement. So what I would say to you as we're talking, you speak of the spirit. Uh, the spirit is kind, it's humble, it's peaceful. Um, and when you allow the Spirit to use you, be led by the Spirit, you will always say things, even in the midst of you not agreeing what they're saying. You'll speak it in kind words, uh, a little animated, but you'll say it in kind words. You'll say it, in love, because trust me, I I struggled with that at first, but now I'm able to say it. I'm like, yo, listen, uh, my spirit is going against that, and it's not right. You might not like it, but it's not fair. It's not just. You know what I'm saying? So I say to you, is don't be afraid, but say it
Mm,
in peace. I know it's hard. I'm saying it to you, but I'm telling you, if you
yeah.
said that, like when you get upset or something and you want to say something and it's spiritually correct, you gotta learn how to say it in peace, and
Oh yeah.
in love, uh, even in the midst of chaos. It could be family members. You got to be able to say it. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to be you. And but being you means to be wiser of how you say it. I was and I always speak about this. I was going to marriage counseling before, and nothing was wrong. It's just healthy counseling. And they always talk about my delivery. And at first it was like I was like fighting against it, like right. But then when I realized it is true, your delivery is everything. How
Yeah.
people receive it, you know what I'm saying, and that's important. So when you're in the midst of people and you want to say something, and your ego get think about how I'm gonna say this without showing that I'm mad, without showing aggression, without
Mm,
showing that I can't stand it. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to, and that's a work of progress. But when you conquer that, you'll see that people respond to you differently. And they and be honest with you, people will receive it more. You know what I'm saying? Even the ones that's closer to you, they'll receive it more.
yeah.
And they understand you more. They understand you better. Cause trust me, just because I'm up here doesn't mean that I don't have those things. I wonder why. Some people don't. Uh, how can I say it? Some people believe the same thing I believe in. They got the same faith, they got the same walk, but we don't hang out, we don't link up, we don't do certain things, and we believe the same thing. So their walk is different than mine. You know what I'm saying?
So are you questioning why y'all don't? Is that what you're
No, no,
saying?
no. Of course not. I understand why not. You know what I'm saying like we are Christians. We believe the same thing, but guess what? We don't hang out. We don't link up. We don't do certain things. We don't go out.
Right.
Because their walk is different than mine. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? My message and how I reach people is different than theirs. That some people want to be closed in. Some people want to be, what I'm saying, to themselves. They think it's all about them. It's all about I'm getting it. If they don't got it, oh well. Nah, but that's not the mission though. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Some people need help. You know what I'm saying? But if you never come out, if you never reach willing to go out there and help, you choosing. Let me ask you a question. So before I miss this thought, do you choose who you minister to, or you just minister?
You never choose. You never know what you're walking into in the day. You never know who's going to come into your life. You never know what your next step is going to be. So, no. How do you know? So, that person, whoever is supposed to come in your life at that time, they meant to be in your life. And ministering is when you basically allow spirit, because when you were talking about the saying to yourself, how can I do this, how can I not say this, or show my anger and all that, that's like saying it wrong in your mind. Say it differently. Say it, I give it to you, holiness. you know I give it to you to say what needs to be said throughout this day. Put it out one time, in the morning, whatever it is, and let it be. Because that's when spirit works, when you just proclaim it in your heart and ask spirit, you take control. So that's, and the ministering comes who comes in your life that day, and you'll see it. and you'll be like, that was God. Yes, that was God. Oh my goodness, it was such a great day. That I believe in that. So, but you know, I love talking to you. You always have great insight and you got great knowledge, in our
Appreciate it.
conversations, we can I can have what I say and you take it, and I don't know how you look at it, but you
what,
listen at least.
what you mean? What you mean? I'm here. That's what I'm here for. It's like that.
But that's what I
That's
mean. Like, that's it. That's a beautiful thing. That's why you're here. That's why you're doing this. This is a beautiful
yep.
thing.
That's it. Like look, listen. And you know what? And I want you to take this and really use this. Is sometimes the people who you require to uplift you, encourage you, they might not be the ones that God wants for you. He wants somebody else to do that
Right.
for you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes our family don't even support us and uplift us, encourage us like they supposed to, because they got their own lives. And I
Right.
get that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm stronger. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, you know what I mean? God has sent somebody that's going to be encouraging, uplifting, that's going to, you know, keep me up there and keep saying, yo, keep up the good work. Hey, look, that's it. You know what
That's
I'm
right.
saying? And I say that to you, it's the same thing. Sometimes we look at family and we like, why this person? Nah, I don't even do. Hey, just keep on striving, keep on pushing, and you like I said, happiness. You
Yeah.
keep filling yourself up with that. You know what I mean? I got Tasha Cobb right now is my go to.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
yeah, Tasha Cobb is my go to. I used to listen to Fred Hammond, but he's a little old right now. So Tasha Cobbs is the new hot thing for me right now. So I
Yes.
listen to her all the time.
Good.
You
I
know,
love her
what,
voice.
huh?
I said I love her voice.
Yes, you got, but not just her voice. You got like, gotta listen to the words
I know
sometimes.
this the words. I know, but I like to sing, so I'll be talking about voices. But yes, the words, of course, because that's what you love. You love to hear it, and that's another thing that you brought up about. There are some people that's therapy. That hearing that good word. And song, but song can do it when you got a good song.
Word to break you down, man. Open you up.
Mhm.
Have you ever been to a gospel festival?
No, I have not.
Hmm.
I've been to
Got
a lot of things, but not one of
got
those.
I got to put that on my I got to put that on my calendar.
Okay. Thanks,
It's-
Chef.
to- Have you ever been to like um do you have any inspirational speakers that you listen to, like gospel or religion?
Nah, I've been for about since the pandemic. I have been reading a lot about history. So, um, and I've also done a lot of different digging into other religions and learning about other religions. Um, I love information. And this whole, what we're going through now in life that we've never all experienced, well, in this lifetime, I'm gonna say that I love the information. You always hear people say knowledge is power, and I kind of believe it because it is something, knowledge, but knowledge can it's knowing, it's knowing something. So it's not what we call knowledge all the time, but the point is it's not about books and stuff like that. It's more about understanding. But anyway, the point is that, yeah, I don't really listen to just one person. I don't have anybody that I could tell you I listen to. I do listen to, like, I do the YouTube where I pay that monthly, because I listen to topics like history. I'm gonna say history, all types of history. And I'm not even going to tell you all my little subtopics, because I'm just going to say history. I have to have my little own private thing. So, I
You
like
ever?
my privacy.
I got you. I got it. In a respect. You
Yeah.
ever heard of Michael Todd?
Oh yeah, yeah.
You listened to him before?
Maybe once.
All
But
right.
no, look, all these inspirational, everybody that's out there is saying great, great stuff. So yes, I love it. But I'll listen, I'll hear it once or twice, but I don't go back to it. I do go to what I like. I'm learning. I am a student of life right now, and I'm absorbing it all. Like that's how I feel. So I'm not taking. The history is what I'm saying. What I like to know what was found in these sites, around this particular area. I love that because that's our history. And I like to hear about where, we came from and how people lived. And I love that, it's a discovering thing,
Mm-hmm.
discovering something that's not in our realm, like right here.
Okay.
But yeah, that's
Uh,
all I do.
yeah, we gonna link up, man. We gonna go to one. Me and you, and my wife. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I had experience with I went to actually I went to Michael Todd one of his conventions in DC.
Oh yeah.
Tell you something. This is before I got married to my wife.
Uh-huh.
Let me tell you something. If you've never been to one like something like that, when the spirit is moving, it's nothing can stop it.
Yeah.
I'm serious. That place was lit up. He's a young
Mhm.
pastor. There's a lot of young people in there. But let me tell you something. Whether they were fake, whether they was in there to get a woman or whatever it was, but when that spirit was moving, you know, you can't fake that. There was a
That's
lot,
right.
a lot of crying, a lot of calling out to God, and I like. I'm gonna tell you something. No, seriously, and for you, I feel like because we cousins, you know, I feel like that'd be something. You say you never been
Right.
life changing.
Okay.
I, and I say that not, and I say that to you in love. I say that through the spirit because it's a different experience,
I believe it.
and you tap into something that you're not used to. You just have to be open to receive it, and then that's the willing part. You willing to receive it, and
Right.
and I promise you, just that alone, I wrote it down on my calendar. I'm going to find one, and we probably have to go there, travel there, but we're going to do that because it's in my heart because that was different for me. It
Mm,
opened me up.
yeah.
I wasn't how can I say it? Yo, I didn't have no worship and I ain't have no praise no more. But when I went there, I came back home worshiping, praising differently, openly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like I was saying, I was in a hurt place, seriously. So I know I can speak on that. I was hurt, and I was like, man, God. Even though I know God was still with me, I was like, man, forget this, man. I don't care. I was doing all. I can't expose everything, but I was doing some wild and crazy stuff. I'm talking about wow,
Right.
and because I was in a bad place, and I went there. I wasn't, like I go to church. I wasn't sitting there like this, like
Mm,
inside of me wanting to get up and clap my hands. I was like
right.
this. That's how bitter, that's how mad I was. And guess what?
Right.
It wasn't nothing that God did. It was all me. It's just I was in myself. I was in my flesh. And being I was in my flesh, I
Right.
was like, man, I don't care. I'm gonna come to church, but I'm not shouting. I'm not clapping my hands. You know what I'm saying?
You are not gonna do it.
Nah, I'm telling you, I'm serious. But and you know what? And how did I come across Michael Todd? Is like I saw him on YouTube. And I was like, yo, you know what? Let me check him out. Start listening to some of his word. I was like, you know what? And it was like this is what God wanted me to go because guess what? I'm so serious. Like it came right up on my note on my email. I'm coming to DC. I was like, oh word, boom. But I was on a journey though, and that journey
Right.
was to make sure that my wife was the wife that I was supposed to have. So I was on the journey, and I didn't want to make the same decision that I made in my first wife. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really talk to God. I didn't really ask God, is this the woman for me? And there's no mistakes, you know, with my first wife. It's just that that's not what I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? I didn't go to God and say, God, is this the wife that you have for me? Is this wife that you know, that am I choosing the right wife, the right woman for me? You know what I'm saying? And because I made a lot of bad decisions in my first marriage, and it caused a lot of pain and hurt. So, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to make that same decision or that same choice, and not knowing that she was the woman for me. My wife she's great. She's excellent. You know what I'm saying? She's very caring. She's very loving, very supportive. And you know, and I wanted, and that's why I went to that. I'm talking about Michael Tyler thing. That's why I went, because I wanted to have a clear mind, and I wanted to do what God wanted me to do. You know what I'm saying? So that was, you know, my trip there was like open mind. And like I said, and I'll speak transparency right now. Hey, listen, it was a lot of women there. Lot. Yeah. I was like, oh my goodness, God, is this the one for me? But no, but see, and I told my wife, no, seriously, I'm serious. Like, I like, you know, even in that atmosphere, the devil tried to attack me, because I was at a vulnerable stage. Because mind you, I said I was in a bad place. I'm like, oh man, maybe I could find me a wife here. You know what I'm saying? Nah. Somebody was sitting. No, when I tell you, listen, it was nothing but God. You know what I'm saying? And I know Esther was the right woman for me. Look, check us out. It was so tight in that spot. That's how many people was in it. Yo, they had a cheer. I swear to goodness, I was sitting just like this. Look. That's how tight it was. That's how many people was in it. Yo, the person that was sitting next to me on both sides, yo, we had our arms on each other. But now check this out. In the wrong place, that'd have been confusion. Right. But when you could tell when the spirit is moving, nobody's no attitude. I'm talking about, that's how tight it was in there. You know what I'm saying? It was attitude, everybody's loving and embracing one another. That's why I said, you know, the spirit was moving, because people was like that. But it was, look, 2 win on both sides. I mean, it was fine too. But God said, look, you ain't here for that. I'm being serious. You're not here for that. Yeah. They asked me all type of personal questions. I'm like, what? Really? So I was like, nah, I mean, you know, I'm here to focus, and I'll stay focused. You know what I'm saying? Usually when I go down to DC, I go out hanging out. I ain't do none of that. I stayed in my hotel and stay focused, because I really wanted the answer. I really wanted the word from God. I wanted to make sure that I was doing the right thing, not the wrong thing. You know what I'm saying? It all is, and then people probably was saying, "What the heck?" This all goes back to we talk about our faith. This we talk about faith, and that's my faith. That's how I believe. I believe that God wanted me to go there. You know what I'm saying? So I could be focused, so I can get back into the place of worshiping Him, and I could get into the place of understand. You know, there are things that He want me to go through, so I could be stronger. So I could be able to deal with the rejection. I could deal with people saying, I don't believe the same thing you believe. I could be able to deal with that, because you got to be strong to be able to deal with that. When people reject you, rejection is something that people don't like. And for me, you know, rejection, I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, oh, you don't want? Okay. See you later. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Yep. You know, and the same thing when you go back to what family members is like. They don't want to hang. They don't want to chill. They don't want deuces. See you later. Hope you had a good time. I'm glad you having a good time in life. That's great.
Yep.
That's great for you. You know what I mean? Everybody don't move in the same wave. Yep. So, you know what I'm saying? You like you getting tired.
No, I'm not tired. So I'm okay. I'm still hanging in there.
You hanging in there?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there.
But listen, I was
gonna say it was a good day, so I still got that joy on the inside.
Oh shucks! Yeah. Look, you be killing it. You know how long we've been on here?
Oh yeah, I see now.
Almost an hour and a half. You
Just
killing
having
that.
conversation.
Yeah, listen. And some people be looking like right now today. I got to inform everybody I'm on a big band right now. YouTube is bigger than Facebook, so But like I said, I want you to keep encouraging people. Sometimes when we on here, you can encourage people to come on, and you could be encouraging there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tell people about at Chef Dennis dash 32. You can find me on YouTube. Yeah, you can catch me on Instagram, 3 Course Catering 3235. You can catch me there. Some of my work is on there. Do you have any extra emails you want to give out, or you want to give out
No,
any?
I'm okay. You did
You
it
all right?
all. That's all
Oh
you.
yeah.
That's all you.
So, like I said, it was great having you on here again. It's always a pleasure. Um, Hopefully, this word of encouragement can reach out and help somebody. Um, so we're gonna sign off. This Tani Graves. She is one of the top guests on here, and we
Ooh,
blowing up right
what?
now. Yes,
Wow.
we
Yeah,
blowing
that's
up.
good.
So,
That's good.
yes, I really appreciate you coming out again. We will do it again. You enjoy the rest of your evening, and I love you.
Thank you for having me, dear. I always enjoy our time.
All right, all right. See you later.
Mwah. Okay. Bye.
All right, bye bye.